All right, folks, God bless you guys. This is specifically geared towards Twitter. I'm consolidating some information that was previously posted and was up on YouTube for a while, but the channel was targeted and tens of millions of views were discarded instantly because of the content. So let's get into some of that content that needed to be discarded. Let me show you guys some stuff. Very quickly, I want you to look at the side of this police car real quick. If you're looking at this shield right here, it may be more than just a shield. I'm going to reduce it in size. Do you see what looks like very much a serpent being, like the head of like something you might see in a movie? Same here. I've drawn it in two different ways, just barely for your perception, just to make it easier. You can go type into Google Images, Austin police car. I can show this to you on police cars all over the nation, the same understanding. But that's a serpent being. What's a serpent being doing hidden, cleverly hidden as the badge on a police car? Why is that? Why is that thing like it is? First of all, do you believe that's what it is? Let me show you. Let me show you some stuff. Okay, let's go to the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. This is Akhenaten, this is Nefertiti. Let me show you what's in it very quickly. There's a serpent being right there. And I'm just going to show you very quickly before I switch over to another video where I actually draw this in right in front of your face. So let me show you where that goes. Let me show you. I'm going to just kind of stretch this out a little bit. There's the image that's been drawn in, and then I'm going to go to this, and you can see here's the hieroglyph here. This hieroglyph, it's been drawn in rather lightly, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this image, and I'm just going to go up in this box right here where this hieroglyph is, and it wouldn't be able to be sized and laid directly on top if it didn't fit exactly. So let's do that. Let's see. There you go. So let me ask you a question. What the hell is like, it looks like, some people like to use the word alien. I used to use that word, but alien's not correct. It's a serpent being. What's that doing just right inside of Akhenaten, facing back the opposite direction? Okay, good question, right? Let me show you a couple more images real quick. By the way, I want to show these to you before you actually get it, you watch it drawn in, because it goes rather quickly. It's in like fast speed. So I want you to see it first so you can determine yourself whether or not it is what I'm saying it is. So here's the head of a sheep right here. Here's the eye of the sheep right here in black. There's a teardrop that's in blue. Here's the nose, which is black, and there's the tongue, which is in red. So here's the ear right here. So I'm going to have it facing this way, and then I'll reverse the direction, and here's the same sheep facing the opposite direction. This being the tongue, obviously this is the nose. Top of the head, here's the ear, there's the eye, you know, on and on. I'm going to do something just for kicks and grins. I'm going to take that same image. I'll put it right here. I'll slightly rotate it. And if you just look at this whole thing, let this be an eye and let this be another eye. I know for right now you might be going, well, that doesn't look so much like an eye. But as I do this and I have you look right here, I'm going to do a line right down the middle of the face. And now look at this as half the face of the devil smiling. So this is a mouth that's smiling at you, a smiling mouth. There's an eye right there, and there's a horn right there. And then the other half is simply the face of a sheep, like a human-like sheep. Kind of if someone was like, hey, I'm going to draw an image that looks kind of like a human, kind of like a sheep, and I'm going to split it in half and make the other half the devil. So just for kicks and grins, let's do that for just a minute. Just indulge me, okay? Just go along with it. then let me show you another image of a sheep right here. Right here is another image of a sheep, but I'll always give you the eye right here, and then coming down the snoot, or the face, there's a nostril right there, and then there's the open mouth. Here's a tongue just coming out. The sheep is dead, so there's the tongue coming out of the mouth, and then here's the bottom jaw. So that's a dead sheep. This part over here is the ear right here. And just now I'll reduce it in size. Once I reduce it in size, and you look right here, and now that I've told you it's a sheep, it's probably easier to see. I'd like for you to look right here where I'm doing my circle right here. Here it is. I've simply made it white for you. A lot of people associate the color white with sheep just to make it a little more obvious and plain. So again, here's the eye right here. Here's coming down the nose of the sheep, nostril, open mouth, pink tongue, bottom jaw, and here's the ear. Okay. Interestingly enough, let me show you just a quick picture someone drew of me. There's a picture someone drew of me and said, hey, I drew a picture of you, Johnny. And behind my ear right here, you can see they drew a picture of a sheep with its tongue sticking out right here. Common denominator, interesting. I just showed you another sheep right here that has the tongue sticking out. And before that, I showed you the other sheep that had the tongue sticking out. Now here's just one more, just for kicks and grins, just indulge me. Let's say someone else said, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you, and on top of your head, I'm going to draw another sheep with the tongue sticking out, and then I'm going to attach that sheep back to back to a goat. Here's the goat with the eyes closed. There's the eye, there's nose, horns. So there is a sheep facing one direction, goat facing the other direction, kind of a interesting group of images right there, but you're looking at them sheep, 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 tongue sticking out on all of them, and then a goat on the one. Then if you'll indulge me maybe one or two more times, I'd like to show you something I'd like to do. I'd like to take this white sheep right here, and I'll take him over here and I'll turn him upside down, and then I'll put that sheep right here. Actually, I have that same sheep in the gold color that it's in. I'm sorry about that. Here we go. Here's that same gold color right here. So I'm going to slide this up just a minute. And I'm going to take this image right here. That's the guy wearing an orange turban. And he looks like kind of a monster. And he's grabbing that sheep. And he's stuffing it into his mouth. So if you'll simply just indulge me for just a minute. Because what you're going to get to see, you're going to get to see something drawn in high speed. And I want to make sure that when you see it, you had a moment to sit and look at it right here. So right here is a guy wearing an orange turban. I'm going to draw the eye in right here. He's got a sharp pointy nose. His mouth is open. This is the bottom jaw, mouth wide open. So it's like a human serpent. Like I call it the creature. And this tongue coming out of his mouth. And then right here is that same upside down sheep that's being stuffed in. Here's his hand kind of stuffing the whole thing into his mouth. Okay, so then maybe one other image I'd like to show you in this whole thing is, it's a little bit odd, but let's just deal with it anyway. Okay, and I'm just going to show you what's in it. You're looking at the constituent parts. Here is a shaft going into, well, you decide what that is. So here is a shaft. I'll just tell you it's a penis, and it's penetration right there. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to take it up here and I'm going to show it to you in another image. Basically, this is where it's going to go right here. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that image and I'm going to force it up into this hieroglyph right here. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to put it where it goes. And this whole thing will line up itself because this is a clear plastic layover that it was all drawn off of. There you go. So now you can see that all the lines line up because what you're really looking at over here, this was taken off a clear plastic layover and now it's on computer and now it's just simply been laid where it goes. So that penetration thing goes right here on the hieroglyph. There it is. Now take a good look at what that's attached to. So that looks like the neck of that serpent being, again, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put this back where it belongs. I'm going to enlarge this and then I'm going to show you something. So that head of the serpent being right here that's inside Akhenaten, and he's looking back the other way. This is an eye and this is an eye. So he's kind of looking up and back. And here's a marionette type mouth. You know, the guys that do the ventriloquism, they have those puppets that have marionette type mouths. And then here's the bottom jaw. Here's the neck going down. So the neck and the head turn into a scrotum and a penis, and then that reveals the other image. And so this is a female that's on her knees. I penciled in an eye for you that's in the shadows, in the darkness, because I'm going to put the eye here and then we're going to color this part light like blonde hair. So coming down. So here is the top of a head and this is hair coming down. So you're looking at a girl straight on. There's her eye. Here's her open mouth. Okay, I colored her hair kind of a lighter color. And then she's on her knees and I'm going to zoom out. And so here is her hip right here going down to the knee shooting out behind her body. This is her hip right here. And then this is her buttocks right here and her knee going down, her leg bent and her foot shooting out. And now you can see the image becomes apparent. Okay, now let's go ahead and go for what I'm going to show you with and burden you with. Now for just two last images very quickly, I'd like to show you the entire sum, the cumulative sum of that whole hieroglyph is right here. And if you can, just simply look at the face. It makes a face. There's an eye here. There's an eye here. Think of the eyes as squinted. It's here. Here's the nose here. Here's the top lip here. And there's a line between the lips. That's the bottom lip. If any of y'all saw The Matrix, there was a scene where all these little bots came out and in front of Neo turned into like a big face, kind of like the same idea. So it's a bunch of constituent parts making up an image of a big face. And so right here, I'll do the same thing for you. If you just simply look at it as a face, there's an eye, here's the nose, here's the top lip, bottom lip. So the whole thing is a face. And then one more image I'd like to submit to you that's pretty important. Maybe some of y'all that saw The Matrix remembers Agent Smith and when he was turned to flames and he was a spiritual being that was hunting Neo through the system. And I'm going to just show you this last image and then we're going to go into a short video clip. I want you to look right down here at the bottom right here, and I'll draw that in for you. I've blown this whole thing up and put it on a huge light board and drew in all these images. There's no way that all these images could be there without them actually being there because I drew over with a clear plastic layover on every single thing you've seen. But I'm going to show you what's right down here at the bottom because these guys have their feet like on a door blocking. This is a person, this is a profile, and he can't get out. His essence is trapped. And I'll just simply stretch this out. And all I've done is just basically barely pencil it in for you. So this is an image of a profile of it's a soul that's trapped. There's the eye, there's the nose, there's the mouth, there's the chin. So there's an agenda that's hidden in the entire hieroglyph. And what it is it's a serpent being inside of Akhenaten. That serpent being, his head and his neck become a scrotum and a penis penetrating a girl that's on her knees. And then the Pharaoh himself is holding a hybridized child and the head of the child is an egg. And inside the head of the child that's an egg is a dead sheep and a reptile, kind of like birthing a race within a race. So if you have a race of a serpent, birthing at the cost of the sheep because the sheep is dying and the serpent is benefiting from the death of the sheep. That's why there's a serpent being on an Austin police cruiser because they run everything here. This is the serpent race. We were carried away captive. Now, let me show you something I did a decade and a half ago probably. And it's become so relevant now, it's just mind-boggling. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, here we go. Kingdom divided. Jesus said, any kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Did you ever think a kingdom divided meant a hybridized race where a serpent race is destroying another race using their energy? Yeah, that's what the world's really all about. The serpent beings destroying God's angels that made the choice to take on host bodies. That's what free will is all about. That's what the forbidden fruit's all about. And the Lord has let me prove the entire thing. It's very simple now once you know it. Okay, ready? All right. I want to give all glory to God. Jesus gave me this as a supernatural spiritual gift. He's allowed me to lay hands on people that are terminally ill, people that are blind. They see people that are terminally ill. They're well, people that have incurable diseases. and they're well. And so those signs will accompany those that believe on my name. And he's allowed me to participate in doing that with him. And there's a swath of people out there that are witnesses that will come forth and tell you all about it. Okay, here we go. Kingdom divided. Jesus said any kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So if you'll please bear with me, I'm going to break down that hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, where I drew it in high speed and we sped up the reel, and you can see that there's an actual agenda of a serpent race hidden within the host body, breeding with the girl that's on her knees, representing what Eve in the Garden of Eden. Here we go. Ready? Let's do it. Sorry about that. Here we go.
This is a story about the human race. A kingdom divided. Jesus said, any kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. A house divided cannot stand. What is it about the human race as a species? Our advances in technology are used for the military-industrial complex in order to destroy ourselves. It doesn't make sense. Something's wrong. What would make brother turn against brother? Why would a species destroy itself? How could a species lock their own kind in concentration camps, do experiments on their own kind? Something's wrong. There's a plan for world depopulation. The New World Order has planned it. Who is this New World Order? Who are they? What is their purpose? How did it start? Where did it come from? We don't know. A lot of these answers are only answered in the Bible. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil. The Bible said, I will put enmity between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. Seeds reference DNA. Different species. DNA carries all our genetic material to reproduce a species, but if DNA is split, what would be the result? Who made the pyramids? Where did they come from? Were these the sons of God mentioned in the Bible? Did they bring the code of death? Did they split our DNA? Did they duplicate our DNA, and did they add their own DNA? The Bible tells a story in Genesis 6. It says that they did. It says the fallen angels had sex with human women and created the Nephilim. Who were they? Who is the Nephilim? What is the end result? Is the end result a kingdom that's divided against itself? The book of Daniel tells us another clue. It said the last kingdom, they shall mix themselves with the seed of men. What would be the outward manifestation of this? Would there be signs, something we could see with our own eyes right in front of our face? So obvious, hidden in plain sight, that it became invisible, right in front of our faces, as we walk around in a deep sleep, unable to see it, unable to recognize it. Would this be the recombinant DNA putting back together of another species, one mixed with another? Who are they? Who are we? Where are we going as a species? This video is to answer those questions, and the only answers are in the Bible. Are we the B'nai Elohim? Are we a kingdom divided? Are the wars within us? Isaiah said, those who try and hide their plans from the Lord are doomed. They carry out their schemes in secret. Think no one will see them or know what they are doing. They turn everything upside down.
Pause it right there. And so that may have been kind of a quick ride for your brain, but I encourage you during this video to find some spots where you want to just pause the video and take a look at what you're looking at on your screen. Like right here is that image of the creature with its mouth open. I turned it upside down and then I slide it over and insert it right on the video. And then in between the space, the negative space right here, the eye of the child, this is the eye of the kid, that's the eye of the dead sheep. So this kid's eye right here is also the eye of the dead sheep. It's also the eye of the devil, because the nostril over here becomes the other eye of the devil. So here's the eye of the devil as well. Here's the other eye of the devil. Here's the nose of the devil. This becomes the mouth of the devil. This is the chin, and then the devil's horn. So the negative space, they utilize the negative space between imagery to put in a whole nother set of images. This is a supernatural spiritual gift you're looking at by the Lord. Ask yourself, how could all the images I just drew out fit like a perfect puzzle piece and be exactly the agenda of the human race? Lady Gaga even said it. You know what? Let's hear Lady Gaga say it. Let me let you hear it from her real quick. So here's Lady Gaga simply saying exactly what I just drew in for you. I just drew in for you a serpent race of beings hidden inside a host body, penetrating a girl on her knees, creating a hybrid child. In the head of the kid is a serpent, a reptilian, it's in the hieroglyph breakdown that I just showed you. There's a reptilian and a dead sheep, both in the head of the kid. That was the production of that insemination by that serpent being into the girl on her knees. And so then the child that the Pharaoh is holding is a hybrid of who he just impregnated. Okay, listen to what Lady Gaga says. Ready?
Yes, of course I have. Well, not my fans, but
Right, yeah.
but there's all sorts of people all over the world with so many different views. But most importantly, I think it's about bringing people together, and the performance we did last night at the Grammys was and what we've been doing with the egg and the rebirth. It's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race, and it's a race with no prejudice, a race within the race of humanity that Bear's been doing with the egg and the rebirth. It's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race, and it's a race with no prejudice, a race within the race of humanity. Prejudice, a race within the race of humanity Bear.
So a race within the race of humanity, like this hieroglyph that shows a serpent race within this host body, and then the whole idea was to destroy a sheep, so the sheep dies, but the serpent race moves on. Isn't that fascinating that the Vatican is a snake, and that in the mouth of that snake is a sheep as well? So the Vatican and the largest altar in the world are identical to the hieroglyph that I just showed you of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, when you just simply take the constituent parts that the Lord whom I serve allowed me to see. There's a serpent race destroying a sheep race. Well, you know the Bible refers to God's children, the Lord God from heaven, his children as sheep that were carried away captive, led astray into taking on host bodies. And here we are, and here they are. All right. That's why you have on police cars who really runs the show in this world. It's a serpent race. That's why the badge on a police cruiser is a serpent race, being no different than the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, that inside Akhenaten, you can look at this one right here. I drew it in several times to make sure, is absolutely a serpent race within the host body system. So it's a race within a race. And then again, the head of the child right here is an egg. So that's what this yellow outline represents. And you can see it right here. And one of the images inside there is a serpent. Is a reptilian, like a lizard. So there's the lizard inside, and then there's the dead sheep. So inside the head of the kid, inside the head of this child right here, is a lizard and a dead sheep. A race within a race. Just exactly like Lady Gaga said. All right, there you go, folks. We're at the end of the world. The serpent race is about to be destroyed, but they're going to want all the sheep that are still left to take the mark of the beast, because we're in the beast system. They're going to want you to take the mark. If you want to be there, you want to be one of them, you want to stay alive, then you're going to have to take the mark to stay within their system, because it's time to cull the sheep out of the entire system. That's what's going on in the end of the world. That's what it's all about. All right, guys. Peace and grace.